Wave FM, and this is obviously your favorite Breakfast Express. And it's been such a rocking morning. Thank you to all of our listeners who are getting involved in the show and the conversations. We do this for you, man. It is 6 minutes past 9. Let me welcome Coach Zaid. Everyone's is anticipating. They're like, Nazia, stop wasting time. So, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Coach Zaid.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How's the fast going?
Fast. Very fast.
Very fast, eh?
It's just going. It's
almost
just
a week
going.
already, eh?
Yes, you know, it's almost a week, and I can't believe it. This month normally flies, eh?
It does. And everyone's like anticipating, oh my God, it's a whole month ahead and all of that. But it's like, you're already a week down.
That's it.
Time flies when you're distracted.
Yeah, when you're distracted, bring on the distractions. Let me tell you, I was just also saying to one of my colleagues, I said, it goes so quickly. And the way that I actually get my mother riled up is in the first week of Ramadan. I say, what are we making for Eid? And my family's like, you didn't even fast properly. And I'm like, what's everyone wearing? You know? Just like incentivize, man. Incentivize. But yes, such a month.
Is that your effort at our topic today?
It's my introduction.
You're rage baiting of your family during Ramadan. I'm sure that's not a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? There's even a time. It's a psychological thing, right? By 1 o'clock. That's
when
the
it's
time.
hitting the hardest.
You go on to the family group. What's for iftar? What's everybody doing? How's the bills? Being paid? And you know what? I must admit, I do actually get a kick out of my mother's reaction. And she goes, you didn't even fast 10 days. And I'm like, let's do Eid shopping this weekend. But yes, that is the topic of the day. Please let us know, what is it that we're talking about today?
Rage baiting. And I wanted to just couple that with anger management, because both are so misleading.
Okay.
And the whole rage baiting thing, I think rage baiting is one of those terms these days that I have a lot of fun with, because it's similar to the virtue signaling, the cancel culture, all of these new phrases that people use to throw around so that they can keep people in their place or they can call people out. Mm-hmm. That's why I wanted to talk about rage baiting today, because I think just using those kinds of terms sometimes is in itself rage baiting.
Mm. It's actually interesting, the kind of terms that are being used now. Rage baiting is not, I don't know whether it's my awareness, like I'm not aware of the term, or it's not common, put it that way. What exactly is rage baiting?
I think it's when you deliberately provoke someone so that you can get a reaction from them. And that reaction, you're not necessarily looking for rage, but you're just looking for a reaction. Mm. Usually not a pleasant reaction. Okay. It's just to see if you can have impact or if you can get a response.
Okay. So it's intentional.
It's intentional. Well, the person doing it is not necessarily intentional in their action, but the person who is accusing them of rage baiting, they assume it's intentional.
Okay. So they provoke. It's provocative.
Yes.
Okay. Trying to get an intense emotional response from a person.
Yes. And that becomes then the subjective part, because then who decides whether the intention was to get a provoked response, or is the issue that's being discussed just provocative in nature or just sensitive to one of the people?
What does somebody benefit from rage baiting? Like, how would you benefit from it? Like, I know how I benefit.
If you have a sadistic sense of humor, lots of fun to be had with rage baiting.
It's very bad. I make myself so vulnerable here on the show. I'm telling you all, yes, it is a sadistic sense of humor, because then, like, I just get a kick out of it, and then when I see the blood pressure coming down, then I'm like, okay, I got my fix now. It's enough. It's enough, But why do people do this?
I think often, except when you're getting into like a heated debate about something, often people do it because they just think that it's funny. They're trying to be humorous. That's their way of keeping things light, or establishing a rapport. But one of the things it reminds me of is for a while, I don't know if you recall, but probably about a year or two ago, there was a lot of incidents where people were playing practical jokes for YouTube Reels in that. And those practical jokes went too far. That was rage baiting. And people got shot, and some people got severely injured, or some people even got killed, right? So that's the kind of thing that rage baiting does. If you don't choose your moment, you're going to get a response that is going to be full of rage. It's not going to be just a practical joke anymore.
It's bringing to mind certain comedians who do practical jokes on people over the phone, and they use sensitive things like your car. Like your car came in for a service, and
Yes.
we've discovered that you now have to pay like 60,000 rand because something else broke. And you literally hear these people go crazy,
Yeah.
and we do get a kick out of it, right? We do on the
That's
other
the thing,
end.
right? It's about, we see it as a practical joke, and if the person who's on the receiving end isn't in a good space, or if they just don't have the capacity for that because so much is going on in life,
Yeah,
then they're not going to see the humor in it.
yeah.
And that's where it goes wrong.
So that's the light side of it. But
Mhm.
then there's the case of perhaps the partner who rage baits the other partner, almost like, I don't know if we can call it gaslighting, to turn around and basically rage bait them and say, you see, this is how you are, and this is why we are where we are. Can we call that rage baiting?
Ooh, well, who decides if it's rage baiting? I think rage baiting is very much dependent on intent, right? Motive. So the moment we start assuming that someone is deliberately rage baiting, then we may or may not be correct. But if we're not correct, more often than not, we won't be correct. We're going to lose sight of what is the point they're actually trying to make. What is it that they're trying to get across? What are they trying to get us to realize is important to them?
Okay.
And if we don't get that, they're going to escalate their efforts. And then we're going to assume, see, we're right, you're just trying to make me angry.
So rage baiting is something that they do describe here as something that drives high engagement in terms of comments, shares, views. So is this just an online trend?
You see, in that case, yes, it's the kind of thing to get like a response from your audience that provokes them into wanting to correct you or challenge you or shut you down about something. So people will put out things that are deliberately and blatantly and irresponsibly incorrect. And they do that not because they actually have any conviction in what they're putting out. They're just doing it so that they can get the reactions and the comments and the views and the shares. And that's self-serving. So rage baiting in that case, yeah, it's frivolous and it's tedious because it won't last for long. Eventually people will get tired of it, and that eventually is not a long period of time. I think it's months. So right now it might work, but eventually people just get tired of it. It's like the AI stuff.
Yeah.
Initially it was so entertaining and so like ridiculous, like, oh my god, look what they did. And now you look at it and it's like, show me something real. I'm tired of the slop, right? Same thing with rage baiting. If you're going to be perceived as constantly wanting to rage bait people, want to provoke people into a reaction, people are just going to stop responding to you. They're going to be tired of having to deal with you because you can't have a reasonable conversation with someone who's constantly focused on provocation.
Yeah. And, that thing of provocation, I mean, there are people who are very deliberate and they get a kick out of provoking others. So why do we fall prey to provocation?
We lack mindfulness. That mindfulness thing, it always creeps up, right?
Yeah.
And the less mindful you are, the more indescribable your rage will be, right? The more intense it will be. So we need to be careful, right? Before we go about accusing people of deliberately provoking us, we need to consider why we provoked. So if someone is rage baiting me, okay, but if I can't recognize the fact that they're being deliberate and they're being, one of my favorite terms, deliberately obtuse. They want to pretend as if they really genuinely don't know and they're just trying to find out something. If you can't determine the difference between that and sincerity, then you got a problem because people are going to be able to get your goat every single time. And that's why you see some people, they know that someone is quick to temper and they'll just like go in and pick on them because they know they're going to get a reaction and then everyone else will be entertained.
So bullies actually
Bullies, yeah.
are experts in rage baiting.
Yes, they try to get a reaction that they know the person is going to have to restrain themselves because of fear and all of that, and they're going to rage bait. And it's tedious. It's such a wasteful kind of approach to relationships.
Partners who rage bait each other.
They're struggling for significance.
Okay.
The only reason you rage bait someone, or the only reason you want to provoke someone into giving you a reaction, is if you want to see if they still take you seriously or not. You might have other ideas in your mind and think that the reason I'm doing this is because I want to see if you really feel that way or something. That's not really the primary motive. The primary motive is Are you still taking me seriously about this? Am I still going to be able to get through to you? Am I going to be able to shut you down if you're wrong about something?
Mm-hmm.
It's about feeding that need of ours to believe that we're making a difference and that we have impact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that, when it comes to rage baiting, you learn from an early age.
Yes, everyone's got that uncle that likes to tease the kids until they start crying, right?
Yeah.
And then when they start crying, it's like, hey, it's only a joke, man. Don't be so serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Don't.
It's a problem. And others push it on. They're like, look, do it. We want to see how she reacts. Yeah. And it's in our culture.
It is, very much so. It's like you push someone until they snap, and then when they snap, you say, have a sense of humor, man. What's wrong with you? It's only a joke.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not only a joke. You joke only as long as both people are finding it funny.
Yes. Yeah.
If both people don't find it funny, then you're having a sense of humor at someone else's expense, which doesn't give it much of a humor or a sense of humor. It's more just selfish.
And there's a line you don't cross.
Yes.
There are lines. There are lines you should not cross.
And I believe that line that we don't cross is when it starts compromising someone's dignity.
Mm.
The moment you're compromising someone's standing in front of others, someone's dignity, then you've gone too far.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no excuse for that. No amount of humor or wit or innocent intention will be able to justify that.
Speaking about this, I don't know if you saw in the last few days there was was it a golf, and a Hyundai Bucky. The guy was parked at the back. It was a black Golf or Polo, and basically this white van. He couldn't take the fact that this person parked it in. So what he did is he reversed straight into this guy, bashing his car several times. And people tried to stop him, and he's like, I don't care. And turns out it was linked to some kind of a street race disagreement. But I would say that, this guy was so nonchalant while he was bumping this car. But rage, just road rage in this country, it's out of control.
What does it tell you? Right, the more prevalent we have anger and rage and things like that, the more it indicates that the people operating in that space, they feel as if they are insignificant. They feel compromised. They feel invisible. Mm-hmm. Because that's the purpose of anger, which is why I wanted to tie anger into this whole thing, right? Is the purpose of anger is to demand significance.
Yeah.
Anger is a defense mechanism. It's not an emotion.
Yeah.
Watch all the gurus out there disagree with me now.
Yeah.
I can prove it. Why is it that we can't just get angry without feeling something first?
Mm-hmm.
Anger is a choice of response. It's a choice of communication. It's not an emotion in itself.
Very true.
I have to first feel annoyed, first feel humiliated, first feel embarrassed or something or the other before I'm going to get angry. And then I'm only going to get angry if I believe that in that circumstance the anger is going to serve me.
That's very important. There is a preceding emotion. There is a preceding.
Yes.
It's not just, why are you angry? Like you just snapped.
Yes.
We've got these words that he snapped. He didn't just snap.
That Indian terminology that we have, that is rage baiting.
Exactly. I was thinking about that. Somebody, I don't know, I was asking somebody how you feeling, and she's like, my head is finished. And I'm like, this is only our Indians. I'm like, what happened to you? No, my back is finished. What is this? It's finished.
What finished it?
Yeah, what finished? How's it finished?
Stress.
Yeah, you're finishing me. So, like the same way when we say he snapped.
Yeah.
He lost it.
Yeah. It's like, okay, why? Why did he actually lose it, or was it justifiably just beyond his patience because someone was just not letting up?
Yeah. And then we say, you need therapy.
Yeah.
And
that's where the gaslighting comes, right?
You need therapy.
I push you to the edge and I say, hey, please, you on the edge here, you need to get a hold of yourself.
Exactly. It's like throwing paraffin, looking at the flame and being like, it's very high, huh? You need help.
Yeah.
That's our culture. That's the approach we have. So now we say, you need anger management. We make you angry. We drive you up that wall Monday to Sunday. And then we're like, I'm going to find a therapist. I heard Coach Zaid. Let me just get his number. You need to talk to someone.
For all the anger management coaches out there, I'm sorry about what I'm just about to say, but if you're managing your anger, you're wasting your time.
100%.
Because managing your anger is after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
That's a reactive response to something that you already feel strongly about.
Yeah.
What's the point? And then you end up restraining yourself and controlling your anger, and that because you just don't want to be angry, but you feel angry and you don't express your anger, which means you internalize it, and then you start experiencing health issues.
Mm-hmm. And that's it. It's linked to your health.
And then someone gets high blood pressure, and again, Indian thing.
All Indian people have high blood pressure. Say.
Look what you're doing to my pressure.
Yeah. You and they
you're
don't
giving
say
me a headache.
to a point where they don't say you're making me angry anymore. They say
Yes.
you're pushing my pressure.
Yeah.
You're pushing my pressure up. You're pushing my sugar. You
I'm
know.
telling you, you're gonna give me a heart attack.
You're going to give me a heart attack. Y'all will finish me. That's exactly what we do. So when we say manage your anger, what are we essentially saying to someone?
Well, you're literally cancelling how they feel about something.
Yes.
And we don't like to hear it when it comes to that, right? Because then everyone wants to justify their anger, and everyone wants to talk about how it is that they shouldn't be on the receiving end of that anger. And that's how both people who are not self-aware, who are lacking in mindfulness about the impact they have on each other and things like that, always you just create more problems. So if I'm angry, legitimately angry, and in my mind I am, right? And you tell me, no, I'm not going to speak to you until you calm down. It's like, seriously?
Yeah.
You did that again, you pushed that button again, you were behaving in that way again, you repeatedly broke a promise that we had agreed on so many times, and now you're telling me I must calm down? Yeah. That's not going to go well. And that's what gaslighting looks like as well, right? But I don't like all of these terms because it doesn't solve any problems.
Yeah.
So what if you're being gaslit? If I talk about rage baiting and virtue signaling and all of these wonderful terms we've got in the mental health space these days, then I see that as gaslighting.
Yeah. And I mean, I think about generational conversations about gaslighting, okay? My dad, born in the 60s, right? If I tell him you gaslighting me, he'll be like, what are you talking about? These terms did not exist, don't exist in his vocabulary.
Yes.
And he'll be like, that is a very practical thing to me. Gaslight, what do you mean?
So let's take it down to what does it actually mean, right? If you tell me I'm gaslighting, you're basically telling me I'm lying.
Yeah.
So why don't you just tell someone you think they're lying?
Yeah.
Why do you have to say you're gaslighting and make it seem as if they've got this sophisticated strategy to try to get the better of you?
And who do we blame for all these terms coming out?
Yeah, well, gurus.
Yeah. And words like grey walling or grey, grey walling, like how do you grey wall a narcissist? Who is a narcissist? We self-diagnosing, we are actually, going on, does your relationship look like this? Then you're like, oh, I tick 4 out of 5 boxes, my relationship is finished, is doomed.
Yeah.
So we also have to be mindful about what we are consuming.
Yes. And why would we go about wanting to consume that in the first place? Because it feeds our ego in some way.
Yeah.
And the ego, people don't understand what the ego is, right? Because they all think, well, no, we must fight our ego. Don't fight your ego, understand it.
What is ego?
In simple terms, it's the sum total of your insecurities.
Sure.
The more insecure you are, the more egotistically you'll behave.
Yeah.
So if you see someone behaving egotistically, you can judge them for being egotistical, but you should also see the human that is insecure, so they have to overcompensate for it because they don't want to lose face.
Yeah.
And then you see the source of the anger, because insecurity leads to defensiveness, and defensiveness leads to anger if the coping mechanisms are not effective.
And I think that just sums it up. I mean, when people say you are egotistical, you're self-absorbed.
Yeah. Why would someone be self-absorbed? Because they have no reason to believe that anyone else around them is invested. Right? So whether they're right or they're wrong that's the easy part. Judging whether someone is right or wrong is always the easy part. What do we do with their judgment?
Yeah.
Do we feel superior? Oh, you're wrong and I'm right, so you must go and sort yourself out.
Yeah.
Okay. Then if they go and sort themselves out and they suddenly don't have anything to do with you, then it's like, oh, now you think you're better than me.
I sent you to therapy, now you... That happens. People are like, what? I sent you to therapy and now I'm the problem.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's actually an interesting one, right? I don't know if it even relates to our topic today or not, but I think in some way it will tie in. Is that more often than not, I find that when two people are in that kind of a space and the one suggests therapy,
Yeah.
the one that suggests therapy or gets the process started, they're usually the ones that fall short in the end. You know why? Because they tend to believe that because they identified the need for therapy, they can't be a contributor towards the problem.
Yeah,
So
actually, they're the solution.
go sort yourself out.
Yeah.
Right? Now the other person sorts themselves out, and suddenly the person who initiated the therapy or the intervention process, they lagging behind because the other person has grown from it.
True.
And then it feels like betrayal. It's like, oh, now you think you're too good for me because look how you used to treat me before, and now you must accept that I'm this way because of the way you used to be and all of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you need therapy. Are you going to go for therapy, or are you going to say, no, he needed therapy or she needed therapy, and that's why it's like this now.
And it's a really, it's a delicate balance. And, I think so much gets lost in translation. We're all reading self-help books. If we're not reading it, we're watching it on social media. It's being fed to us, we are also consuming there. And are there any filters up? Like thinking that, this doesn't necessarily apply to everybody or to me.
The biggest problem is most people go onto social media or even just in their research efforts to try to solve a problem. They're doing it not to solve problems. Most of the time they're doing it because they want to feel better about what it is that's happening to them. What people are doing to them and how they need to protect themselves and how they need to cope and how they need to defend and all of those things.
Yeah.
So if you want to develop defense mechanisms, cool, go for it. Just understand what the impact is of those defense mechanisms. So when you rage bait, when you provoke people, and you don't mean to provoke them, but you think you're just standing in your truth. Another nice one.
Yes.
I'm standing in my truth, so you must just respect it.
Yes.
No. That's not how life works. That's not how relationships work. You have to be willing to be able to and open to having a meaningful conversation about what you believe is true.
And no matter how difficult it is, see the conversation through.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of people who can start the conversation.
Yeah, but they don't want to go the distance.
Yeah, like, let's talk about what are your expectations of me?
Yes.
What are my expectations of you? Like, let's do the KPAs, right?
Oh, yeah, we're back to that, the scorecard.
Yes, right? And
Your
then...
360 review.
Yeah.
It's due now, 6 months.
the contract renewal time, So you're sitting there, and then the moment you bring... it's brought up that you actually... These are the things that you've been doing that, whatever. It's not right, or whatever. The person's not happy with. Do people have the courage to see that part of the conversation?
No, usually not.
Yeah.
And that's where maturity comes in, right?
Yes.
That's where your sense of self is tested. How well do you know yourself and how secure are you in that space?
Yeah.
And secure doesn't mean you must believe that everything's okay with you.
Yeah.
Secure is about being willing to, not just willing to, but wanting to understand where you have blind spots and where you can improve.
Yeah. And if anything's going to make you angry, it's hearing negative, or not even criticism, but negative feedback about yourself.
Yes.
Like, can your ego stomach this? You're sitting there, you scratching yourself. You're like, there's so much I can say right now.
Yeah.
But don't.
Oh yeah, look at you. You think you know so much.
Yeah. You're sitting, and then the person says, so how are you taking this now? You okay? And then I'm like,
no, thanks, I appreciate it.
Constructive feedback, we're all about progress. Yes, we are
I'm invested in my growth.
Yes.
So please lay it on thick.
Yes. And then in your head you're thinking, but I know where you stay and the tires that your car uses. Don't get me at the mall, I'm telling you. It's gloves off. So
and slowly you start drifting away, right? Very calmly, very quietly, very passively, right?
Yes.
And then when the other person says, hey, how did you hear from you anymore? How did you see you anymore? What's going on? It's like, no, life, busy, children. And you make all sorts of whimsical excuses because you don't have the backbone to respond to someone that is telling you something you don't like to hear, but you don't have the ability to talk about it in a mature way without becoming defensive or aggressive.
Yeah, and what does that cost you?
It costs you a lot of good relationships.
Yeah.
And then eventually you're convinced that everyone is wrong and you're the only one that's right.
And a lot of relationships on the other side of that conversation can really be rewarding in your life.
Yes.
Like, I think your enemies are more honest with you than your friends these days.
Oh, yes, always.
Like, listen to your enemies when they criticize you.
What are you invested in? Are you invested in growth, in like genuinely developing yourself into being like a better person? I'm
Yeah.
not talking about the best version of yourself and all that. It's
Yeah.
nonsense. But are you genuinely invested in just improving?
True.
What is it that you're doing in your life that you want to be able to do better?
And who told you improving would mean you're only going to get good feedback all the time?
If you're getting good feedback all the time, you're surrounded by people who are stroking your ego, which means that you love your insecurities to be pacified. You want people to tell you how good you are because, you know, what you're doing wrong. Oh no, we don't want to make you feel bad.
Yeah, of course.
People who don't want to make you feel bad, they're not your friend.
Of course. I mean, would you rather have honesty or would you rather be comforted by sweet lies that delays your progression in life?
You know when you wish you had taken the honesty instead? Is when you find yourself alone and having no meaningful relationships around you.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at it and thinking like, wow, so much life has passed and what happened?
Yeah, the cost is up there.
It is, it's massive.
So, anger management, what does that look like? So I come to you and I say to you, my boss has suggested that I do counseling for anger management. What do you say to me?
The way I describe anger management is like this. You know, everyone knows the diet soda and Mentos experiment.
Yes.
Drop the Mentos in and then it like gives you a foam fountain.
Yeah.
So anger management is like dropping the Mentos in and then putting your hand in there trying to prevent it from coming out. You can't. Because eventually the pressure that builds up is going to be stronger than what you can hold down. And something's going to give, something's going to explode at the wrong time. Like we touched on in our last week's conversation.
Yeah.
You end up exploding on the wrong people. So anger management is about you perceiving that someone is attacking you. It's a perception. It's your interpretation, your assumption about their motives and their intentions towards you. It's not an actual attack. And even if someone is verbally attacking you, you have to decide whether that is important to you.
That's a very powerful statement.
Most people outsource that accountability. It's like, you were like this and you were like that and you said this and you spoke like that, so that's why I got angry, so now you deserve what you get from me. And that's how we generally justify abuse. Physical abuse as well.
I think we need to be having the conversation to dig deeper into this. Because I just put anger management into the search bar. And what they actually give us is calm down techniques. If you look at this, they say anger management involves techniques to recognize, control, healthily, reducing the emotional and physical impact. But what about the cause? Like, this is exactly what people are doing.
You're rage baiting me now.
You see? I have to reverse this on you every single week.
Like, just hear that out loud.
Yes.
And why can't people see how ridiculous that is? My problem that I want to solve is why I get angry, not how do I control
Coping
myself
mechanism.
after I'm already angry.
Yes.
It's like someone in a panic attack.
Yeah.
Oh no, just focus on touching something of a certain texture, or focus on a scent, or focus on a certain thing that you're looking at.
Five, yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Why don't you help the person to understand why they feel so anxious in the first place that they lose control? Solve the root cause of the problem, not the symptoms.
Yeah.
We're so symptomatic in everything we approach these days, in human behavior, health, in how it is that we navigate life, that we constantly feel like we're victims. You know, life is like this, and people are like that, and work is like this, and traffic is like that. Shush.
And you know what? We go into ChatGPT.
Oh.
Right? These days, I have friends who legitimately have issues. But you know what they say? ChatGPT is my friend. So if I'm having an issue, I'm going to go on to ChatGPT and I'm going to put it in. And this is exactly, you know, it's basically stroking my ego. I don't think there's I personally do not use it. And I don't want to use it. I have experimented with it. But when you put this in, anger management, at the bottom, it says when to seek help. only if the anger feels uncontrollable, causes trouble at work or in relationships, or leads to violence. It may be necessary to seek help from a GP or a counselor or a mental health professional.
And people will actually see that as sound advice.
Yes.
That's the scary part. And this whole ChatGPT thing about people referring to it for relationship issues and life advice and that, you guys really need to do your homework, okay? And I'm not saying that in a condescending way. I mean, I have a tech background in IT, so I understand at a decent level how the technology works. It's not as intelligent as you think it is.
Very scary.
And it doesn't have any context about your life or about the relationships that you're complaining about. So if you have a blind spot, ChatGPT is going to tell you, it's not you. They were wrong. They shouldn't have done this and they shouldn't have spoken like that. And then you end up gaslighting someone else because ChatGPT told you were right.
I'm not laughing because I'm guilty. I'm laughing because I recently met somebody who had like a family meeting,
Mm-hmm.
and everything that the other person said, they actually recorded, then transcribed, and then asked ChatGPT to evaluate, and then the ChatGPT told them that person is insecure, egotistical, and has an agenda against you. And she was like, you see,
I knew it.
I am right.
Yes.
I was not reading this wrong, and in your sane mind, when you think about the context of the conversation,
Yes.
you can see that, well, there's big holes in what ChatGPT is telling you.
Right, but the person who's using ChatGPT, they're going to say, no, but I took the entire chat and I posted it on ChatGPT.
Yes.
I didn't only put a part of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you put the entire relationship on ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Did ChatGPT know what was in the other person's heart when they did what they did?
Yeah.
Or how it is that you affect them because of the impact you have on them, because of the significance they place on you?
Yeah.
If you're going to use ChatGPT, use it for research, use it to structure information you already have, or use it to understand how it is that you can approach things from a strategic perspective relative to technical outcomes you want to achieve in your life.
Yeah.
Don't ask it for life advice.
Absolutely.
ChatGPT doesn't have your value system. ChatGPT doesn't understand the value system of the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT doesn't understand the context of your life or your community or what your aspirations are in life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's what's the scarier part is towards the end, ChatGPT says, this is typical of narcissists.
Yes.
This displays traits, this behavior, and you go by it.
If anything, I would go as far as, and I don't like, not just don't like, I disagree with using the term narcissism, right, or narcissists. But I would go as far as suggesting that if you follow ChatGPT to the T in the kind of advice it gives you, chances are very, very good that you will become narcissistic yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because ChatGPT, the personality that was built into it, the character that was built into it, is designed to be your biggest fan. It's designed to make you feel good. It's designed to encourage you. That's why there was a case where there was a kid who, the way they presented their argument into ChatGPT, it was a Canadian kid, I think. It actually confirmed to them that yes, suicide is the right thing to do.
Yes, I saw that.
And that's exactly how ridiculous the advice is that you get from ChatGPT, that you're not trusting important relationships with. No, don't. Please, just don't.
Dangerous territory.
Extremely dangerous. And then you become so convinced about the wisdom that you got out of this ChatGPT interaction that you start seeing everyone else with this jaundiced view, with this distorted bias, believing that they're the problem and you're not.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to head into a commercial break. I have to digest what we've been talking about. And also, if you have any questions, 077-280-4792. We have Coach Zaid in the house for your favorite Wednesday interview. And time flies when you're having fun. You're listening to East Wave FM, and yes, we have Coach Zaid here, and we are so happy that we are having this conversation today. Because, we are fasting and also rage baiting now, and you're going to get a response 200% by 1 o'clock. So, yes, Coach Zaid, what are the important things that we need to realize about anger, about the role it plays in our lives? Why is this emotion even there? Oh, is it an emotion? What is it?
Anger is a response to an emotion.
A response to an emotion.
And just test it for yourself. Let's not get philosophical or theoretical or academic about it. Just test it for yourself. Do you just feel angry? Or was it something that annoyed you, irritated you, frustrated you, embarrassed you, humiliated you? Something happened first that anger became your response. Why is it that sometimes with some people we'll get angry and with other people we'll go quiet and we'll walk away?
Mm-hmm.
Same kind of experience, same emotional experience, but we'll respond differently. Because that's what we believe is going to serve us in that setting. That's what we believe is going to have effect or impact, or we don't want them to think they can get away with it or they can treat us that way.
What happens to anger that is suppressed?
Anger that's suppressed turns into chronic illness. Period. Like I said, let's keep it simple.
Yeah.
Speak to any person who's got a chronic illness, and if you know what to look for, you'll find out exactly what it is that they're angry about.
Mm-hmm.
And that anger doesn't have to be rage. It doesn't have to be overt, out there in your face. It's an internalized bitterness. It's internalized anger, a feeling of injustice, a feeling of unfairness, a feeling of something that needs to be reconciled that was never reconciled, or someone that took them for granted that they invested so much in. That's where it comes from. Now, your anger about that, you'll decide whether it's worth your while to express it to everyone or not. And if you don't, then you're going to be short on other things, completely unrelated. Because your capacity for dealing with something like, say, for example, it's something that you thought was unfair about what happened before, and that's what made you angry, right? But that relationship was something that you kept out of the space you're in now.
Yeah.
It's away from the family you have now and all that. So, because it was about being treated unfairly, injustice, you'll be super sensitive to anything that appears to be unjust.
Yeah.
And then that becomes your trigger.
Yeah.
And then when someone is sitting there observing and they see that's your trigger, they rage bait you.
You're triggering me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if I know something is going to trigger you and I just want to have fun because I like how it feels when you get that way, I'm going to provoke. So if I don't know why it is that I have that anger, that internalized anger, I'm going to automatically blame everyone around me for why it is that they're not showing up the way I need them to because they know it makes me angry. Yes, you can let someone know that something is unpleasant for you or you don't appreciate it or something or the other. And anger has its place. I'm not saying we must all walk around kumbaya, calm as ever and all that. It's impossible. You're human. But you need to understand where your anger is coming from and whether you are commanding your anger or is your anger commanding you.
Very important question. Are you being commanded by your anger or
Right.
are you commanding it?
So if you're constantly angry and you're just ready to snap at everyone and you think you're this justice warrior kind of thing, no, you're not. You need to understand what's driving your anger, what's driving that rage. You can't be purposeful if you're driven by rage. So anger is a response to a feeling of insignificance. I feel as if in that moment I'm being insignificant. I'm being treated as if I don't matter. I'm losing relevance. I'm losing influence. All of that is what will provoke us into being defensive. And in response to the defensiveness, we rage. Because anger is a demand for significance.
Very true. And what happens if the audience is not perceptive or receptive, or they don't respond in the way the person wants?
So that's where it gets complicated, right? Because if I'm using anger as my demand for significance, and the person I'm angry at sees anger as a way of undermining their significance, so they respond with equal anger because they also don't want to be insignificant. And I've got two people raging at each other, and here's the irony of it, right? I love this irony because every time I point it out, people first look at me like what's so important about that, and eventually it clicks. Well, not always, but sometimes. So here goes. If you're demanding significance from someone, do you need to be significant with strangers, people who have no impact in your life? You don't, right? So you usually want to be significant to people who are significant to you, right? Now, if anger is a defense mechanism and it's demanding significance because you don't want to become insignificant to the person you are speaking to, or in that situation you can't afford to be insignificant, it means that you see the significance of the other person in that situation. And if that person sees the significance of you, and they're demanding significance from you, so the irony, for those that didn't get it yet, is that you are demanding significance from someone who's demanding significance from you, and the only reason you're demanding significance from each other is because you are significant to each other. You're solving the wrong problem.
I hang my head in shame.
So a screaming match, yeah, it can be therapeutic from time to time,
Yeah.
cathartic even, if you want to
Yeah.
use that word.
Yeah.
But see it for what it is, and then like see the humor in it, and then sit down and try and have a reasonable conversation to find out what's going on.
Yeah.
And if it's about having a completely different perspective on something, and you just can't have a meeting of the minds, you have to find out how it is that you're going to compromise on it.
Mm.
No one is absolutely right, and no one is absolutely wrong.
Very true.
It's always within the context of that situation.
You see that you just said? I'm putting it on a frame in my house. When you come in by the door, put it on the bathroom door, put it everywhere in the wall. No one is completely right and no one is completely wrong.
Exactly. And we need to hold ourselves to that, right?
Of course. It's easy to dish out this advice.
Yes.
But what about modeling? What about inhabiting? What about stomaching? Because oftentimes people come and they need advice and here you are. Oh, this is what you should do. This is what you should do. Go home, you're a mess.
Yeah. And okay, go home and you're a mess because maybe what it is that's going home, that's at home with you is overflowing into the workplace or some other spaces, right? No problem.
Yeah.
But be able to recognize that.
Yeah.
Because like I said, we're human. Don't expect yourself to be 100% composed all the time because you will be boring as hell and no one wants to do anything with you.
Absolutely. And perfectionists.
Oh,
You know?
control freaks.
Yeah, everything is perfect, everything is fine, we are well, we are shutting the conversation down. How are you? Is it still messy with you? Let's just move the spotlight.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, everything is perfect on my side. You know? So, like, yeah, you're the problem, let me help you. You know? So, I feel like it's all these things that we face. There are people who just feed off your, be careful also who you are taking advice from, as we said previously.
You know, there's something you said just now, and that actually sparked a thought, and I want to put it out there. I think that control is a coping mechanism for anger.
Wow.
Because as long as we're in control, we feel okay. When we're out of control, when someone is not cooperating with the control that we're trying to establish, then we are angry.
Yeah.
Which means that control is solving the anger issue. Why?
Yeah, why?
Because control gives me predictability. Everyone out there who thought control gives you power, no, it doesn't. Control gives you predictability. And predictability becomes important because without the predictability, you may not be able to cope.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're afraid that you won't be able to handle unknowns and things that happen out of the blue. But you need to be in control because if you're out of control, then you appear incompetent. If you appear incompetent, you lose influence because no one is going to be influenced by someone who appears incompetent. And if you lose influence, that undermines your significance. And that's how you get to wanting to defend your significance through anger or passive-aggressive ways of anger, right? So once you start understanding that, and you see how it plays out in the moment, then you don't just get angry for the sake of getting angry or because that's the only way you know they're going to listen to you. Then you can choose your battles a lot more meaningfully.
And like you also think about the fact that it all boils down to significance. Every single thing we have spoken about has led back to that S word.
Yes.
Significance. Everybody's fighting to be significant.
I honestly believe, and this is literally what I wrote a book about, is that the core need that you cannot switch off, that drives every single thing we do in every single moment, and it happens in a split second, you don't have to contemplate it, is the need to be of positive consequence. Focus on that need to be a positive consequence, and you'll get answers to why it is that things affect you the way it does. Why it is that past experiences still haunt you, why it is that future ambitions are so daunting, all of those things. It's because of your need to be a positive consequence. Every single one of us has it. Male, female, young, old, it doesn't matter what your cultural background is, what your religious background is. As a human, you want to know that you are significant, that you are able to contribute positively towards how someone else is experiencing life. If you are denied that opportunity, then you have other problems. And that's where all the defense mechanisms, coping mechanisms, anger issues, the insecurities, all of that comes out from that belief that your ability to be of positive consequence is under threat.
You know, when we talk about such things, it leads me to think that, you know, when people say, I want to work on myself, I need counseling or coaching because I need to work on myself, they don't realize the depth of the work involved, you know?
Yes.
They hear conflict management, positive self-image,
Public speaking.
what do they call it? Positive self-image, self-esteem.
Self-esteem and the best version of yourself.
I want to be the best. I'm going to stop saying that, by the way. I'm going to stop saying that because really, when you really have to dig deep, some people are not ready to meet themselves. They're not ready to journey through that. If you want to do the process and you really want to benefit from any kind of coaching, counseling, whatever you may call it, they have to journey through the abyss of self.
Yes. And the reason why they find it difficult to receive that kind of feedback or insight is because they're seeing themselves through other people's eyes. They're not seeing themselves.
Yeah.
They're perceiving themselves through how it is that they think others think of them and how they must appear to others and what how they must look and how they must have seemed in that moment. And that's where the judgment comes from. And then that drives the anger because then your need to be of positive consequence is under threat. If people perceive me to be a joke, I'm going to get angry because how is it that I'm going to have significance in their space if they're not going to take me seriously?
Absolutely. And that this whole conversation has enlightened me even in terms of leadership.
Yes.
People who are occupying leadership roles and their need for significance leading back, if we backtrack it, you know, and, you know, just, yeah, why are you smiling like that?
One of the worst things that has happened in the last decade or two was this inclination in the corporate spaces especially to call every manager a leader.
Yeah.
No, if you need to feel significant, you're not a leader. You're probably a manager.
Yeah.
Because it's not the same thing. Leading requires that you have vision. You're leading people towards an outcome. Managing means you are maintaining processes and controls and supervision. You're managing something that exists. You're not creating something new.
Absolutely. And then we wonder why, like, you can't retain staff. People are coming and going. They're on the next ship out.
And just let's connect it to the personal life, right? How many people, especially in our culture, the men are supposed to be leaders in their home, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Are you leading or are you controlling?
Yeah.
Are you dictating or are you influencing?
Oh, can that be our next topic? Just got it. I just got it.
Sure. Remind me.
Yes, we definitely need to do that. And it's an important discussion. And I don't want to take away from today anger management, rage baiting, you know, all of these things we've become familiar with and yet we've lived with.
We live with it because it's become the normal, right? And that's how some of the things we do, we justify it because everyone does it.
Absolutely.
We always did it this way. We always talk about things in this way. We always have these kinds of jokes about each other. So why are you getting so sensitive? No, stop telling people whether they're sensitive or not. Understand why it is that they may be sensitive.
Absolutely.
That's where empathy is demonstrated, right? But you can't give what you don't have. So if you don't have that kind of understanding and compassion within yourself, you're not going to be able to show up others in that way.
Absolutely.
So the same with anger. You give what you have. If you're always raging at people, your internal conversation is extremely harsh towards yourself, not towards people. You're judging yourself, you're beating yourself down, you are belittling yourself, you are talking to yourself in harsh tones. And then you project that onto people around you because like they don't know what I'm going through. They don't know what I've been through. They don't know how tough my life has been. As much as it would be amazing if people around us were sensitized to all that, people don't have to know how tough your life has been for you to show up decently for them.
How powerful is that?
Right? We need to hold ourselves accountable for how we show up and stop blaming people for why it is that we're showing up that way. We can recognize that someone is provoking us. No problem. But you don't hold them accountable for the consequence of your provocation, of that provocation towards you.
Absolutely.
You're still responsible for how you respond. That's why someone who responds in a blasé kind of nonchalant way that shows no care or no respect for someone else's emotional experience, they're accountable for that. And And the fact that you can choose to do that with one person, but you choose to rage with another person, that tells you there's something within you that sees the difference between the two. It's not the person. What you place emphasis on is what you're going to be invested in. And if you're placing more emphasis on your insecurities, you're going to be invested in your defense mechanisms.
This is such a deep topic. I think it actually requires a follow-up because an hour is too short.
It is.
It is too short. I think that there are key takeaways from today. And I know our listeners appreciate, and we appreciate all of your pearls of wisdom and your efforts in coming here and ensuring that we actually have this kind of knowledge. And we thank you so much for this and for the opportunity to have you in studio every single Wednesday.
And as always, I appreciate just you making the platform available for me to be able to have these conversations in the public domain, because I don't think we have enough of these conversations, not just from my side, not just from your side, but as a community, we need to have more mature, meaningful dialogue, not rhetoric and condescension.
Absolutely. Coach Said, have an awesome, prosperous week ahead, free of rage, baiting, and anger. And
there's the fun in that.
How true, how true. So, yes, we'll be back same time, same place. That's next week. Thank you to our listeners, and Jazakallah khair to Coach Zaid Ismail.
Jazakallah khair.
Yes, guys.